Hi, my name is Adam Barlow, and this is my technology project for this class. So this year I tried something kind of new, and I was inspired by another one of my UAN classes to make a project for my engineering design class where we design with CAD, so computer-aided design, 3D Pino Derby cars, and then we 3D print them, and then we race them. So there's a lot of technology that's involved in this inherently just because it involves, computers, modeling, and all that kind of stuff, but I tried to use some of the tools we've been talking about. And the tools that I used that were the most helpful were a lot of the Google Docs, Google Drive, Nearpod was an awesome resource for me, Google Forms, and then even the program I'm using right now is called OBS Video Capture Recording, and YouTube. And I also found a way to use Utah's online library to help students learn a little bit more about the physics and some tips and tricks to make their cars work better. So in here, hopefully you can see this. This is my schedule, the schedule I started out with. I did make some adjustments after the fact because we had to go a little bit longer than I had anticipated. But day one was design research. So designing, they had researched their car and come up with a way to do it. I found a Nearpod. This was awesome. I'll just open this up if it'll let me show you. Okay, well, it wants me to sign in. So it's a super cool lesson that shows the engineering design process. And normally I have a whole day dedicated to this, but this process here defines engineering problems, and it shows some cool things about how to decide what challenges and solutions work the best. This guy uses the Mars rover as an example, which was really cool. It's a good real world example. It had some questions at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions or moments that they could stop and students could reflect. This one I had students do on their own individually, and it ended up being pretty cool. Saved me a lot of time, and I think it was interesting for the students. So the online library, I found a link there and showed students how to access this, and I got to log in again and sign in with Google. Hopefully it likes this. Okay. Sorry, this is taking a sec. But this one, oh, okay, well, I'll have to fix that link. But it showed how students can use some tips and tricks on Utah's online library that were available to anybody. I actually ended up using another YouTube video by Mark Roberg that was also very insightful. It wasn't necessarily one of the tools we've talked about, but it was nice to find some really good content online that I didn't have to prepare as much. And it was really effective, and it was engaging because most students are familiar with Mark Roberg. Hand sketching, I had students submit their work, their hand sketches, through Google Docs, and this was one example that was really good. A student did a warthog from Halo. It's a video game series, and this was his hand sketch. And one of the biggest advantages to this was being able to turn in their work, and they didn't have to wait for me to check it off to send it back to them. Being able to design something, it's nice to have your original designs at hand or on hand and ready to go. So this allowed them to keep moving while I was still grading their work. So it kind of freed them up to do more. So the Google Drive was an awesome example too. Right here, there were a ton of parts that students could download and use. So I'll look at this one downloading, oh, not this one, the wheels. So downloading this, it looked like these are the standard Pino Derby wheels. So I had them model the car body and then any accessory they wanted, but the wheels were given so that we could use these in like a real Pino Derby race if they wanted. So they had to download these parts and then integrate it into their design and just pop them on. And having that online resource, just a shared folder, was invaluable. Modeling the car, here's another example of, this is the software we used to do it. So this one is a computer-based program. It's one disadvantage to that one is you had to have the school's Wi-Fi in order to access it because it has a license that's associated with their IP address. So in the future, I think I'll be using another program that is accessible anywhere. Here's another multi-view drawing. This is a video lesson that I prepared. I'll turn the volume off so you don't hear me talking over myself. But the video explains how to do the assignments. And you'll see I didn't have a lot of views on this one. The students that did watch it, however, it was really nice because they could stop. They could go at their own pace and rewind and all that stuff. And I think in total I probably had about 20 views between 3 or 4 different videos. So not a lot. But if you multiply those 20 views by the 5 minutes that it saves me, you end up getting a lot of, it saves me a lot of time in class. And I can focus on students that really need the help. Here's an exploded view of the car. This is that same one that another student did. He uploaded it like this. It looks really awesome. Again, it made it really easy for me to grade it while they could move on to the next steps. Another YouTuber tutorial, a final car design. So this is them showing us how to do it, or how their car looked in the very end. So this is their final submission. And this one was awesome. The student did a great job. So he designed all of this, 3D printed it, and turned it in, and it was actually really fast. I was pretty proud of it. I know he was too. So the race demo, this is just a little video. So for their presentations, what students did is, oh, that's the wrong one. When they demonstrated their cars working, got a video here. I can show you real quick. So this is a video that was uploaded. And they raced their cars like this, and to present, they'd take their cars out here, they'd explain the designs and show how it would work. Actually, maybe I'll play that again over here so my video's not overlapping with it. But pretty cool. So they'd present like this. Unfortunately, I forgot to record them actually presenting it to each other. But I recorded the race though. So there's that bit. So right before they raced, they had a little presentation right there together and talked about their design process and what went into making their cars and why they think their car is going to win, which wasn't always the case. But it was fun. So at the very end, there was a quiz. I had to add another week of racing because I didn't anticipate how long it was going to take to 3D print all of the cars that we had. This final quiz right here is just a quiz that I would normally do like on paper or something like that. And this just digitized it, so it was really easy for me to distribute it. They could take it whenever. And it gave me a really good immediate feedback. Like I could break down the charts and see who was understanding what and what areas were students were having the greatest difficulty. So overall, it was a great experience. And I think it was a cool activity, like even without tech, it was awesome. But I think with the technology tools that we implemented that I learned over the course of this course, it really made a big difference for me and for my students. And I think big takeaways, as I mentioned in here in my reflection, that I think in the future what I'll be doing is I'm going to use Nearpod a whole lot more. Not only to kind of steal like an artist or to take a lesson that's already pre-created and implement it into my class, but to make some of my own content as well. So super cool experience, and I'm grateful for the things I've been learning. So thanks for watching.